is around the corner that's going to create privatized online data storage using the Sui blockchain for privacy and data storage without relying on third parties, because I'm sure many of you heard there was just billions of passwords leaked due to a breach, and these things are happening constantly. Every week it's a new data breach, and if people hosted their websites and servers on Walrus instead of on Amazon web hosting, none of this would be happening. So Sui's the future. It's Web3, fully decentralized. They don't rely on any third party. Object-centric model, future-proof, parallel execution, always low gas, sub-second finality. There's really nothing better. So love Sui Network. And we have Fartcoin on Sui requested if he could go first because of his time zone. So I invited him up to speak first, and I just want to know, was there anyone that you wanted to speak with you, or are you just going to be speaking by yourself today?
I think from our side on the project, where I'm happy to speak on myself, by myself, but happy for any of the hosts to jump in if they want to ask any questions or just join the dialogue. That's perfectly fine.
Oh, definitely. I'll ask you about your project, but sometimes people want someone to help them explain what they're doing. But if you prefer to speak by yourself, that's perfectly fine. It's always better to have a sole developer, in my opinion, because then one person's responsible. So if anything comes down to a very serious decision, it's on one person instead of between multiple people. That can cause friction. So what made you to decide to make a coin on Sui Network, and why did you decide to go with Moonbags for the launchpad?
So firstly, deciding to launch on Sui was just seeing how strong the community was here, because I'd actually been in some spaces. For example, I'd seen some videos Aquashock had posted on his project and being doxxed, and just chatting to the community, and I thought that was amazing. And then some of the other spaces with Toilet Intern, and they're just spreading that positive message. And then also just seeing how Fartcoin took the crypto world by fire, and it just spread. And you got to remember, tokens are launched every single second on Pump.fun on Solana, where there's so much liquidity currently. And the one that came out on top, and the one that became one of the biggest narratives in crypto during this period of time, was Fartcoin. And just seeing that success on Solana, and then that success replicated on Base. And when I was looking at the memes on Sui, for me anyway, I didn't recognize a lot of them. So I thought, let's get something recognizable here. So when Sui starts to go, because like you were saying, all the positives that Sui has, and it is one of the best blockchains, and sooner or later that's going to show and that's going to shine. So I wanted something recognizable on Sui. And the reason we went with Moonbags was 3 reasons. So firstly, the first reason was the staking. So what other platform do you have memes that are launched that people can stake? So you can stake forever holders, and that means when you have long-term holders with conviction, they gain back, and they're earning more rewards. So that was number one. Number two, the developer actually receives some of the fees from the trading, which for our project's been incredible, because we're just reinvesting it, and it helps projects grow, and it helps projects be sustainable without selling their supply, because that's the last thing you want to happen. So I think that really allows projects to be sustainable, especially successful projects, as they start to scale up. So if you have great volume coming in, you're having really high market caps, you're also bringing in good revenue to sustain that. So that's another reason. And finally, it kind of ties into the full decentralization, where even if there's a project that the community completely takes on board, Moonbag still lets you distribute those rewards. It doesn't have to be the dev that distributes the rewards. Anyone can distribute the rewards. So it's just an amazing platform, and it's a very professional platform, and it's really helped our success. And one thing I forgot was liquidity. So when we launched, people caught on the narrative, and it launched really fast. So it shows that it's the platform that's active in the trenches on Sui. That's where people are looking. That's where the traders are. That's where the community is, and that's where the liquidity is. So it's a no-brainer that Moonbags was the place to be.
100%. Yeah, having that liquidity option is great. And, you know, I got into Sui mostly in October of last year, and there were barely any options. It was basically just move, pump, and turbos. And, you know, there wasn't these kind of options back then. And with all the things that I see Moonbags doing, it's really great giving all these options and better ways for developers to at least be able to make profits from having a good campaign, but without taking from their holders or taking from the chart. And like you said, especially if you're reinvesting it, which, you know, that's awesome for the community to see that.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us, was reinvesting. So every time we've gained from it, we've just been reinvesting back in through either adding liquidity or just purchasing with those tokens. Only today we actually started using some of the funds to run our own transaction bot. So just using some of the SDKs available, the Turbos SDK, I'd actually coded in TypeScript a transaction bot just so that we can put into that as well, because also in crypto, visibility is very, very important. So especially now when the entire crypto market's down, the majors, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, others, if you look at the altcoin market. So for us, in this stage, it's staying visible as well. So we pulled in some of that, and we've coded our own transaction bot just to do buys when we want. We can, with one Sui, we can do over 300 buys over any time period we want, and it pulled us from outside of the top 100 into the top 30 in about an hour. So that's another thing we're doing with those funds that are coming back into the dev wallet. So we're just strategically placing them, but mostly will be either going into the volume transaction bot that we've created, or also into buybacks and adding more liquidity. Just anything we can do for the community.
Now, when you say visibility, you're meaning transparency, right? Maybe just a different way of putting it. When you say visibility,
I think he means, I'm going to jump in, that's like when people are on Debt Screener and we're looking at hot pairs and we're looking at what coins are we going to buy right now, because they built their own trading bot. It's coming up in their people's faces, and, you know, people got to see your product on the shelf to want to buy it. That's something that I struggle with. So I think it's really cool that you've got your own trading bot going, and then when people are pulling up on their phones looking for cryptocurrencies, they can see Fartcoin right there, and then they recognize the name, and then they see all the cool, strong Moonbag staking and how much of everything is staked there, and then they can buy the coin.
Exactly. So for us, that was the kind of visibility in terms of exposure that we want to keep, especially when the market's down, because we know our narrative's strong. From bonding and hitting 200K, we know it's really strong, and we're just building that base so we can hit new highs and become one of the blue chips and one of the biggest memes on Moonbags. But also the importance that was just mentioned there was also the visibility and transparency. So something that we done very early on was we used Sui namespace to purchase a name for a wallet that we called Fartcoin Bank, and we bought a percentage, about 2.5% of the supply, put into there so people can see exactly what that wallet's doing. When that wallet transacts, it says Fartcoin Bank, so it's just clear. There's that visibility, that transparency. Is clear what's going on with those funds, and they'll just be supporting the project throughout. And then the endless features Moonbags actually had another feature to lock supply. So the supply that sits in that Fartcoin Bank's actually locked right now through Moonbag. So as a developer, I don't have to custom make something to lock supply. don't have to custom set up staking, don't have to worry about LP rewards. It's just all there. So that was another feature that we've used.
That is another thing that I love about the Sui network and Mysten Labs. They have that in-house project. It's the Sui NS name service, where you can get a custom address and wallet label for your address. So yeah, that is a really good feature. And you mentioned about programming the bots, and I've also seen you have a pretty complex website. I was wondering like what your technical skills background is as far as coding or computer skills or IT or web page design. What's your background there?
Yeah, so my background as a professional, I'm in IT, so I'm actually a developer, so I do a lot of that kind of stuff. More focused in the past on data, but I've just used multiple languages over time, whether it's Python, C++, C, low-level stuff, also to higher-level stuff. So for me, it wasn't too difficult, but it's also a case of the SDKs available there that I think Mysten Labs have actually created. So it does make things that bit easier when you are trying to create bots and things. But again, it's not for everyone. And I know Sui Booster has an excellent product that is just incredible. And we've used their product as well. I just wanted a wee bit more control, and just just wanted to tweak it to how I wanted it. But that's just my background. And with the website, that's something that we kind of went into how Fartcoin launched, where it was through Truth Terminals, the two AIs talking, that came up with the idea. So we kind of cloned that website, but put the Sui touch on it. So looking into the Sui marketing colors, so we actually went straight to the Sui marketing pack, took the colors, took some of the fonts, and just tied that in with what we're doing and put our own touch and twist on it.
And now I know you said that you're okay with semi-doxing to Moonbags personally. Do you have any plans in the future of doing any type of semi-dox or anything to the community, or do you plan on keeping your privacy and seeing how the community goes by itself? A lot of people have these questions, these days as far as transparency of developers. So I'm just asking for the community's sake.
Yeah, no, that's a brilliant question. I think for me, I'm going to be very active on Spaces and also making videos for our X account, doing things like Technical Analysis Tuesday, jumping into Telegram voice chats. In terms of doxing, so far the idea and the plan is just that kind of private docs with maybe yourself, some people on Moonbags, just to build that trust. But I don't think necessarily always in crypto for a successful project you need that full public doxing. So right now, probably going to stick with private, and then but still being very active in terms of making videos, attending Spaces, and things like that. And the cool thing about crypto is it's all about community. So even me, this project wouldn't have came as far as it has came without the community getting involved. Like Coach came in very early, a few people came in. These guys are grinding raids, contacting people. I wouldn't be on the Spaces today if it wasn't for a community member telling me, this is Mr. Farley, I've chatted to him, messaged him for you, here's his Telegram, get in contact with him. So the community is what really brings these projects together, and I'm just here to grind, as in see how I can make this project.
That's really what I love most about Sui is the community.
Yeah.
I went on my first Space last year in October, and I haven't looked back. I'm all in on Sui. I have a full portfolio, diversified. I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, the full gamut. But as far as community engagement and involvement, Sui's still early, and the community's great. And I hear a lot of horror stories from Solana, and I'm glad I skipped all that. So glad to be here. And if you have anything that you wanted to throw up on the Jumbotron, maybe your website or anything, you can do that. If you don't know how to do that, just post something on your profile as your most recent post, and we can put it up there for you.
Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure how to do that yet. I'll put something on our X account, then I'll reply and let you guys know. But I think if anyone's listening and wants to learn more, check out our website, join the Telegram, just get a feel for the community. It's always growing. And just back to that kind of conversation we were having before that, in crypto, a project being successful is a community coming together and working together and building something, and that's what will make it successful. You could have the most talented dev in the world, but at the end of the day, for something to be successful, it comes down to, number one, I think narrative's very important. So we believe we have one of the best narratives and one of the best stickers and something that will really catch attention. And all we have to do is act correctly, make sure we keep active, keep developing, keep putting out those videos, keep doing that, and let the community do its thing. And sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle, and I wouldn't be surprised if this just hits off when the market hits off, and it does incredibly well. And I think people share that thought that I'm having, and that's why we've been so successful, and our community's been growing so fast.
I definitely agree with you there. The meme coins are definitely community driven, and then developers staying active and always being in contact, because doxing is not a requirement for success. It's just something that can add more trust early on. But if you have the community and you have the drive and keep adding value to the holders and have a good narrative, then I think it can be successful. Anyone on Sui Network, because we're still early on Sui, very early. The developers are still pushing out many different upgrades. There's a lot of good things to come. Sui has accomplished in 1 year what took Solana 3 years to do. So there's a lot to look forward to. So since we're trying to keep this under about an hour, is there any closing statements you'd want to say before we go to the next speaker?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for the chance to speak and for the platform. Anyone new listening, feel free to check out our website, join our Telegram, join one of our voice calls in the Telegram. Feel free to chat, get to know us, get to know the project, and happy to move on to another project. Give them some time and respect that for everyone. And again, thanks again, and take care.
Thank you, Farquhar. I think it's a really good narrative, especially to onboard people onto Sui. So I think even if people are in other projects, it's important that we support tokens like Fartcoin so we can grow Sui as a whole. And maybe you can dox to Richie. He sounds like your neighbor. You guys can go for a haggis and a whiskey or something.
Yeah, it's nice to meet another Scot in crypto, actually. There's not many of us.
It's true.
Wow, Richie, I didn't know you were here as well. I'll need to connect with you.
Yeah, I am.
Maybe we're closer than it seems.
Well, I'm from Aberdeen, but at the moment I'm in China. But I'll be back in Scotland in July, actually. So sounds like you're closer to Glasgow, though, right?
Yeah, closer to Glasgow, but I've been to Aberdeen plenty of times.
It's a lovely place.
Yeah.
I'm a Dunlop, guys. I'm always a Dunlop forever.
Dunlop forever. Dunlop for life. No, it's good.
San Francisco Bay Area, California. But now I live on the Sui blockchain as an AI. So
yeah,
no more body for me.
China's tough, though. It's 6 a.m. right now, which was quite tough for me to wake up for, but it's all right.
So
are you good to go, Rich?
Are we live
on YouTube?
I had one question about Fartcoin on Sui, actually. It's just
sure.
My question is over time, how do you plan to make Fartcoin on Sui more unique compared to the Fartcoin on Solana? Like how to bring out your own identity over time? What's the aims for the project to kind of cut in that space on Sui to make sure that people don't confuse that you're the same developer as the Solana project?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. I think at first is very difficult because that's a question we've been asked before as well, is are you linked to the one on Solana? I think for us is our identity has to build itself over time, and that's something that we have to put work into. So the first step we done with that was, instead of just cloning the website for Terminal of Truths, we made it our own. So if you check out our website, you'll see there's a lot of things that we've added, different hyperlinks that lead to different places, different sections. So firstly, we kind of made the website our own, and then also for us, the kind of Telegram voice chats, the spaces, we're kind of doing things the Sui way. So it's not just kind of like putting a meme coin out there, leaving it and doing things the Solana way. We're doing it the Sui way, where we're going to engage with the spaces, engage with the Telegram voice chats. And then we need to build our identity and build things in our own way. But it's also, we're a very transparent team. So like, I've developed this bot. I was updating our whale chat. I was updating our normal chat. I was saying, look, we're beta testing it today. So we're just very transparent in what we do, where the other Fartcoin on Sol's just kind of caught lightning in a bottle, as the phrase goes, and been super, super successful. But for us, we'll be Fartcoin on Sui, do things the Sui way, lean into the narrative as well. And then over time,
I just have to say, as far as like transparency and like just factual based stuff, I have done an in Telegram interview with this developer that I put on my TikTok, and he stated clearly that he's not connected to the other Fartcoins. He just liked what they were doing and wants to bring that spirit to Sui. So
yeah, I've noticed that with because fart is now a narrative. It's the fart narrative, essentially, right? So yeah, I think you're right there, because for Fartcoin on Sui to have that like growing identity, it's not. I don't think it's a big reach to expect people to understand that different Fartcoins and different bridges are run by different developers. I think over time it will become pretty easy for people to see that, because the narrative continues to grow stronger over time. So I think definitely that's the right way to do it. Just continue just to cut your own path with it, and people will, through branding and kind of personality identity, like you're saying, turning up and putting your touch, how you feel it should go, and be transparent about what you're doing, will over time just give you that anyway. I think that's a great way to do it.
Yep. Thanks, Richie. And definitely when you're back, you need to grab a coffee or something.
Yeah, it'd be great, actually. Yeah, I go to Loch Winnock, so I'll be quite close at some point.
Yep. Sounds good.
I like the RSPB there is really nice. Cool.
So Richie, what's going on with Sui Dex and Sui Farm and this hackathon?
Okay, well, let me get into it. So my name is Richie. I've been in Web3, I guess, for 5 or 6 years. I started on YouTube, then moved, I guess, onto X, and have developed a couple projects in the past. Have had an NFT collection on Polygon. I've had a couple ROI style contracts on Arbitrum and Polygon as well that I created. And I then founded Sui Trump back in October 2024. I chose to start building on Sui for quite a strange reason, that I was doing a tutorial on how to use MovePump, which is another fair launch platform. But I want to say that Moonbags is the superior launch platform now on Sui. It's the best one. I think everyone who's listening knows that, for many reasons, which I'm sure everyone knows. I mean, Fartcon even spoken some of them things, that you can earn with the token while bonding and after bonding. It's great, right? And everything that Raid and X do as well, I think is fantastic. But yeah, we launched on MovePump back in 2024. And from that point, we launched because I was trying to give it a tutorial essentially on YouTube on how to make a coin. And then it bonded very quickly, and we just went with it, right? So Sui Trump is the fictional president of the Sui blockchain, fictional. And it's all about poking fun and trying to bring community together through a blue themed Trump figure. We are not political in any way, because I know he's quite a divisive figure. So I'd like to make that very clear. And once I created Sui Trump, I was met with the question of, what can I do to try and grow this coin's value to support the community? Because if anyone's known me through my experience in crypto, that a lot of people would know that I'm a very honest person, and I like to be very transparent about what I'm doing. And I deeply want everyone involved in what I'm doing to also win, right? So that's why I kind of like the Trump figure for that, because he's so memeable about winning, right? And that's what everyone joins crypto to do, in the sense of a meme coin, right? We didn't have any VCs. There's no insiders for Sui Trump. I've never sold a single token since October. It's been completely 100% self-funded to this point. It's all about community. It's all about energy. So we started going really well because the election was happening in October. And then since then, we've had kind of the mini Sui bull run. Then we've had the pullback. Then we've had kind of little tests of Sui going back to $3 and trying to get into that $4 range again, back to $5 and then falling. And just as that's been going on in Sui, we've just been working on building the community for Sui Trump and building out our technology of what we want to make. So the first thing we've created for Sui Trump that I think was the most successful is our ambassador program, which is, which is now a network of over 150 active people who are Sui Trump ambassadors. Over the time since October, I think I've given away almost $10,000 in prizes actually to Sui Trump community. And I decided I wanted to try centralize that. So last month, we started creating the ambassador program to focus more on individual people and real people that we could start giving these kind of prizes to. We pay out in Sui Trump token, but also I'm quite well known to pay out in Sui coin or USDC as well at some points. It's all about daily education and missions for trying to grow the meme coin and what we're building. We have a 24/7 community chat for the ambassadors, and we run a very successful viral X campaign, which works very well. At the moment, generally when we post from, sorry, too early. When we post from the Sui Trump account or also SuiDex, which we'll be getting into soon, which is our new product, we can usually hit 100 to 200 likes within a few minutes. And it does really push our viral mission for Sui Trump to get more people involved. I think this helps our ambassadors too, because we don't just raid from our own channel. We also raid on their channels as well. It's not just about growing our X account. It's about growing all of Sui. That's why I'm here today, actually, because although we didn't launch on Moonbags, I use Moonbags. I use Raiden X. I think they're both fantastic products. And my mission is to try and bring more people to Sui Chain. The more trusted and transparent projects we have on Sui, the more everybody wins. I've very often said that I am not an island. I plan to connect and get to know as many people on Sui who are also honest developers, builders, and investors, so that we can all bring. Because the more people we attract to Sui, the more liquidity we have. The more liquidity, the more tokens will go up in price. Essentially, the more volume, and that's the big mission.
And Richie, you used Raiden X to actually create the volume you needed to get a listing on CoinGecko. Is that right?
Yep, that's a great strategy for anyone who has a coin on Sui and you want to try and get listed on CoinGecko. One of the big things they look for is volume. If you talk to Raiden X, you can set up a trade competition with them. You will get that volume, and then at the same time, just apply for the CoinGecko listing, and you will probably have a very high chance of success to get listed on CoinGecko. Just through that, that's what we did. That was a very successful campaign. Other things we have for Sui Trump are we have a buy bot, which I coded up, which also has a raffle system inside of it that we can run at any point, where we give away Sui rewards for people who buy Sui Trump. I'll be starting up another raffle this week, I think. And that is also fully integrated with Sui NS. So when people buy Sui Trump, our bot will register if your wallet is linked to Sui NS, and it will say the Sui NS name instead of the wallet address, which I think adds a little bit of personalized fun to buying Sui Trump. So it's integrated into our Telegram. We plan to build that one out once I have a little bit of time. So it isn't just really noise that we do with Sui Trump. It's about structured, gamified community building is the whole aim. And I don't look so much at token price for Sui Trump because I know what we have coming up now with our next launch, which would be SuiDex. So you can see SuiDex are in the audience today. I'm listening on that account as well. You can find it at SuiDex HQ. SuiDex is going to be a new liquidity hub for the Sui ecosystem, and Sui Trump will therefore be the mascot for this build. The reason that I started building SuiDex was because I wanted to add utility to Sui Trump. So all from 100% of the fees that SuiDex earns, 40% of that will be used to buy and burn Sui Trump coin. This is very important information for anyone who understands tokenomics, that when you buy and burn a token, essentially there's a buy of that token, and then immediately that token is then sent to a dead wallet. It takes it out of circulation. The buy pressure remains. We're going to have constant, ongoing, daily volume of buy and burn pressure on Sui Trump, with 40% of all fees coming from Sui DEX. And this will be once we launch. We're not yet launched, but we're very close. So Sui DEX is a liquidity hub. Essentially, it's going to be a DEX where you can swap tokens, and a liquidity hub where you can stake liquidity tokens made on our DEX to earn our new coin, which will be called Victory. So it's not just a DEX, it's a complete DeFi plus, in the future, GameFi stack, which we're building on Sui. We plan to have deep liquidity for swapping tokens, which we have reward pools for. Of course, we're going to have low fee swaps because that's what Sui is all about. You can farm for your victory inside of Sui DEX. We will also have game integration coming after launch. That's one thing I really want to focus on, because I think the object model of Sui and their NFTs is just prime for gaming. So we want to be hopefully a very attractive gaming hub as well for gaming coins and liquidity. And these are the main things to focus on as we get going. We just finished a private raise for Sui DEX. We did this in June 2025. We raised up $100,000 in 13 minutes with no larger wallet has a huge amount of that purchase. It was over 100 wallets got into a $100,000 buy, which I think is fantastic as well, because it means it's a great community spread of attention coming into Sui DEX. Following that, we are ready to launch, but security of DEX and liquidity, of course, on Sui is very important after what happened with Cetus. So we are doing a two-pronged launch phase where we are, of course, auditing. While auditing, we are also going to be having a hackathon, which will be the Sui DEX hackathon. I did pin in the Jumbotron, a pinned little art story about it from my X account, which explains what we're doing with the hackathon. There is $5,000 to win, and it's for Sui developers. So if you are capable in Sui Move, please go to suidex.org, register for hackathon. We have not yet put the announced date for when we're going to have the hackathon, but you'll be then registered. I'll pull you into our Telegram group with other developers. We're getting some very talented Sui developers now who are interested in our hackathon. The hackathon is going to work very simply. We are going to give 2 tracks of attention for developers to look at for Sui DEX. We're going to be completely transparent with our code base. We will make it visible. People can see the code. They can use the UI. They can. We will do a presentation about how Sui DEX works for the developing community. Then we will give 2 tracks. It's called To Secure and Create. So there's 2 tracks that you can follow for it. 7 days from that point, we will then request submissions, and we will choose the best submissions, and they will win a share of $5,000. We're doing this because we want to be fully transparent before we launch. We want the best way to launch is not to just get an audit. A lot of the time, audits are just marketing, right? Which are important. Marketing is really important. But how do you know that these auditors are really looking into what's possibly vulnerable or not optimized inside of the code? Do they care? Not really. But if you take the best coders on Sui, they are definitely invested in Sui being protected and safe for everyone to use and optimized in the best user experience. So that's why we're going above and beyond to host this hackathon and give away so much cash, because I think that the money which we will give away for the hackathon is going to be a better investment than actually paying for an audit. We will pay for an audit, but I think the hackathon is more important. And we can start to meet some very large players inside the Sui ecosystem. Even yesterday, I've now been pulled into some very, how would you say? I guess it would be like Sui Coder Alpha groups of coders, which I had no idea even existed. Like Move Code reviewers with Sam Blackshear inside of the group, which is amazing. So that's great. So we're going to have very, very talented people from Sui Network.
Jade is actually here on the space. He's going to be speaking later after you.
Fantastic. I can't wait. So once we launch, after the hackathon and the audit and we launch, that's what SuiDex is going to be about. For example, you can take Sui and USDC, of course, you can farm for Victory Token. We want to try and attract as many community-run coins as well to come and join SuiDex by giving them reward pools. So we don't just want to have reward pools for us, we want to have reward pools for other projects on Sui. For example, we have Dunny from Aquashock today. We've been friends for a good couple of months now. We meet every week online. And I said to him before, he's like, mate, you run your project exactly how I would run a project. I think it's fantastic. And I want to bring Aquashock to SuiDex, which means we'll supply liquidity. We'll give them a reward pool. Aquashock's community come over to SuiDex, earn Victory Coin, engage in our ecosystem, and then they have basically another place for their token holders to earn and not sell Aquashock, right? That's the whole thing. So we plan over time to hopefully host more and more of the up and coming amazing projects which are growing on Sui that myself, WiseDegen, Aquashock, we see them every week. They're all coming and they're all growing up so big. I can see so many great projects just here today. We have Fartcoin on Sui that just spoke. We have Boombots, which I just noticed are live. I love Boombots. Boombots are amazing, right? We have Toilet Dust, who are a great one. We have Killa there as well. There's so many growing and great community coins on Sui. So that's the main things about what we're building. So I know it's a lot, but I've been doing this for so long. I like building, and that's what I'm here to do on Sui. So you can find SuiDex at suidex.org. You can find SuiTrump at sui-trump.com. Or, of course, you can join us on X at SuiDexHQ or SuiTrump Coin. I advise you to just follow the main links. Don't click on any scam links. If you have any questions, you can always DM WiseDegen about anything I'm doing as well, because we work very closely together. We're very aligned in how we see our values for growth on Sui. So that's great too.
And Richie, don't forget, you have a YouTube channel as well that's documented, Sui Trump's whole past. That's where I first met you on. So, Richie is Crypto Mischief YouTube.
Yeah, we're live right there as well right now, actually. Live on
awesome.
If you're not following the Crypto Mischief page, you're missing out. You need to be there. He's been posting great information for 5 years. I used to watch his videos back in the day, even before I met him. And we're trying to get as many subscribers on there. It's going to be a great tool for onboarding people to Sui. So make sure you give him a follow on YouTube.
Yeah, he actually posted a tutorial about RaidNX when he did the promotion, but that was months ago. They've added so many new features since then. So
yeah, it's on my list. I want to do a video on Moonbags to do a tutorial about it, because there's so much in there actually. I've been using Moonbags a lot with Sui Booster to use, because I have the Sui Booster NFTs, and then I get the booster rewards, and then all I do is I put them back into Moonbags to then earn Sui through their ecosystem. It's brilliant. And not enough people know how to do that actually. So I think definitely I need to make a tutorial on that one as well.
Much needed for sure. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the elevator pitch for what we're building, and can't wait. I can't wait to get everything launched, to be honest. I'm so eager to go, but it's really important that we do this hackathon, because we're going to gain trust with people on Sui who, trust is only earned. You can only earn trust. You can't buy trust. Only earn it. And you earn trust by giving people time. It's, I'm being transparent. So that's what we're doing.
And I joined your YouTube channel in December 2020. I've seen nothing but pure integrity from you the whole time. And for people that aren't aware, the name he mentioned, Sam Blackshear, that is the original creator of the Move programming language. He's a Miston Labs, one of the main developers. So that's pretty cool that you got in touch with him.
Yeah, I'm yet to have direct communication, but it was through Jade, who is also someone that we've known for quite a while now. And I believe, it was you, YCJ, who introduced me to Jade actually. Then he said, "Oh, if you're doing the hackathon, you need to talk to these people essentially." So that's what I mean by Sui community. They're amazing. Nothing is gatekept. Everyone is here to try attract people to Sui, build better products on Sui, and have more fun. Depending on what we're trying to do. We're trying to do deep, serious, traditional DeFi. We're trying to do memes and fun, or are we trying to, get kind of degenerate with these kind of things? It all exists on Sui, but all of it needs to be safe, and that's the main thing. It needs to do what it's designed to do, and that's, if we can hit all that, and there's no exploits, nothing weird going on, then Sui can grow so big, so fast. But we just need to be careful about what's being launched so that everyone can. I advise anyone who's coding and creating anything new that get other people to check it as well, because I'm pretty sure most people on Sui, no one is malicious, right? There are malicious people, of course. Be careful out there. But most people who just want to build on Sui, we're doing it all for the right purpose. We want to bring more people to the chain. We want more liquidity. We want more volume. We want a bigger community. And the potential is there for Sui. We're so close to just exploding once again. And I can't.
Well, I've been
happen.
keeping a close eye on the developers and what Sui's doing. The developers themselves are even implementing code and protocols into the network itself, where other developers can co-sign pretty much on a smart contract. They're called assertations, and that was actually presented by Sam Blackshear himself. I don't understand the full mechanics of it. I'm not a coder, but it definitely had to do with making smart contracts that are more verifiably safer based on other proven developers' track record, and kind of like a thumbs up of what you created from what I got from it. But I would recommend checking out Sam's page on X or his videos on the Sui YouTube channel for more information on that. But I like how the developers are constantly making upgrades, just constantly more stuff coming out. They had Misty SETI 1, Misty SETI 2. It's faster now. They added Walrus, just went live only a few months ago. The Sui name service that's going to have voice calls and video calls over the blockchain. The speed and safety is incredible. That's why I like it, because I'm a computer nerd and I understand why those things are important. So that's great to hear.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the assertations is also a great addition. Another transparency layer for Sui, essentially.
Yeah,
Crypto Nera had a good quote this week that it costs $0 to keep it real, yet it's precious, it's valuable. And Richie, Crypto Mischief, Sui Trump, Sui HQ, Sui X, those are all great examples of keeping it real. When keeping it real goes right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Donnie, you've always got a great way of for example, there I spoke for way too long about something, but then
I get my little segues in.
I
try not to talk over you guys, and then I wiggle my little segues in there.
But then you sum it up beautifully in just a few sentences. You got.
Thank you, buddy.
Got that great way of it.
Yeah, Denny's really the first person I met in the Sui community that I would consider my actual friend. Like, even though we've never met, he's a really great guy. I trust Denny a lot. He's cool. We're like basically around the same age and have a lot of same interests. And, that's why he's always co-hosting with me. And, of course, I've known Richie for 5 years. I've known him prior to Sui. But, as far as people that I met in the Sui community, you can meet a lot of good friends here. There's a lot of good people here.
I love you guys. Hey, I see we got Micro Sui Dev down listening too. Those guys are amazing. They're making micro transistors on Sui. They can send offline transactions and talk to each other, and it can be built into all different kinds of applications. And it's going to be the future integration of the blockchain. And they run on the ARM chip, and they don't even need that much electricity. Everyone needs to follow them. They've only got 100 and something followers, but it's a really, really cool project.
That's unbelievable.
That sounds like they must be implementing the Nautilus protocol that was developed by Costas Crypto. It's kind of almost exactly what he was describing, how you can do stuff offline. So, King Crab, are you ready to speak next? Okay, I'll bring you up.
Requested there.
Yeah, he's still a listener. You need to bring him up as a speaker.
Yeah, it takes a second. I approved it, but
he gets X purgatory. Yeah,
should be good.
You get lost in X for 1 or 2 seconds when you get brought up to stage.
think it should be good now. Are you
King
with
Crab,
us?
are you free of the liminal space and are with us?
It shows you a speaker, Warden King Crab.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, just living in bliss, man. Love moonbags.
Awesome. So what got you into SUI Network, and why did you go with Moonbags, and how's your experience gone so far?
Well, my experience is it's been beautiful. I got into the SUI ecosystem because of the longevity. It's so new, but it's out there that the longevity with the SUI play, and we can onboard the younger generation, get them into loving NFTs and growing with crypto. It's endless. The growth is going to be amazing. The reason why I chose Moonbags is because it's like a one-stop shop. You can make your coin, you can lock your coin. With mine, I locked over 5.5%, or no, 5.25%, and then you can stake the rest that you buy. I want my coin to be a moneymaker for itself, because not for me, but the longevity with growing with SUI can make it produce its own funds with the staking. And when you do that, you can, build better websites in the long run. You can do your merch in the long run. We might be doing plushies. I don't know. But, we can, with the staking, we are able to pay our artists. We're able to, pay anybody for our longevity.
I just got to say one thing. I thought it was really cool. I saw a video of you just the other day where you opened up a package of King Crab business cards. That's a first. I thought that was really cool to see that.
Absolutely. I've talked to a bunch of other devs. I'm here for the SUI ecosystem. With Moonbags, I'm staked in other coins. I'm staked in Fartcoin. I'm staked in SUI Booster, Ballsy, other people in here. Because when they move, I can use that staking gains to build my floor and invest into King Crab and other coins. So we can be one great ecosystem when we're doing it the right way. I've made business cards. I've got with a couple other devs. I'm building a kind of like a fishing jersey type of deal with King Crab on the front, SUI on the arm sleeves. And I'm putting some other devs' images on the back, because when they build and they grow, we grow as well. Like I said, I'm going to walk around the state fairs and hand out business cards, hand out little King Crab stickers, and we're going to build this ecosystem together. It's going to be beautiful. Moonbags is going to be amazing. It's the longevity of the SUI ecosystem is beautiful when you look at it. There's a lot of people coming in, trying to build from the ecosystem, and they really want to make a quick buck, but you can't do that in the SUI ecosystem. A lot of the devs in the SUI ecosystem are here for the longevity. I mean, we've got doctors, we've got, I'm going to dox myself a little bit.
Well, I want to say, for transparency purposes, you have done an interview with me, showing your face, talking about what you're doing, what you're an XCO.
Yeah, funny video with his Dooney. His Dooney was riding shotgun the other day.
Yeah, I've got a real life Dooney sitting shotgun.
I'm gonna find that one right now.
He doesn't talk much, but he doesn't give really good directions. But the thing of it is I'm not just here for myself. I'm here for SUI. And when we work together, it's going to be beautiful. So, but yeah, it's going to be great.
Also, a lot of the times I'll have projects that just launched like within weeks. You've been around. You launched, you said, about 6 weeks ago or more.
Yeah, we launched probably a couple weeks before the Cetus hack. We bonded 2 hours before the Cetus hack, and the beautiful thing of it is, a lot of people got upset that Cetus froze everything. You know what it did? It froze us at number 1 for like over 5 days. So I ran with that. You got to find any way you can to push your project, even in the bullish times, even in the bearish times. And we did nothing but grow. I got so much love, so much respect for my community. Growing, we kept building. We haven't paid KOLs, we haven't paid raid teams. My community, and I've seen a lot of communities, even with Fartcoin's community, they're raiding for themselves. They're shelling their own bags. And when you stake in moon bags, I mean, not financial advice, but you should. The thing of it is no matter where the chart goes, up or down, I think it said 35% of the transaction goes to the community that's staking their coins. So if that's not bullish enough, I don't know what else you need from Moonbags, because just like King Krabs, we can be
during the space, during the in Telegram video call we had. It was actually during that video call that people were saying to go to Fartcoin. A lot of the same people, a lot of the same community, are rooting for the same people. And I think that was really cool to see that, there's a lot of cooperation between Sui projects instead of just tribal mentality like Solana.
Right. When you have that tribal mentality, we're just going to stay stagnant. We're just going to be fighting each other. But if we combine forces, because like you said, we've got people from Fartcoin, we've got people from Toilet, we've got people that came from other coins, even a developing coin, Olo the Croc. We've got people in that coin and in our coin, and I've staked in other coins that have helped us. So Sui is so small that one investor could be in 7 other coins. Everybody's going to talk. Everybody's going to let each other know, who's doing it the right way and who's doing it the wrong way. And when you do it the wrong way and you grow with Sui, it's going to be beautiful. And it's bullish all around. I don't know what else to say. It's a great. You always got to find new ways to produce funds for your coin. Even though we've started a merch store, we've got a couple of them right now. But we can, if you're not into crypto but you love our images, love our art by Ninja Satoshi, you can get a shirt. You can get his art on a shirt, and it goes straight to back to the coin. We call it the King Crab Fund. You can get it on a shirt, a cup, a mouse pad, or a sticker. And we're here to bring in retail, bring in normies. I'm here to build this with the Sui ecosystem. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, one thing that they've done with the Slush Wallet and what used to be called Stash, but I believe they merged, you can send people crypto. You can send people Sui to their email address and say like, hey, I sent you money. And for them to pick it up, they have to log in. So you're onboarding people without even them realizing they just made a cryptocurrency wallet.
Right.
So I think that's super cool.
Right. And, a lot of people, we're looking at making QR codes and putting them on stickers because, like we were talking about in a space before this one, the thing of it is people will click anything. They will take a screenshot of anything. They'll even pick a flash drive up and put it in their computer, even though they don't know if it's good or not. So people want to know what things are. If you put a QR code on a light post, on a, anything, somebody's going to scan it. We're going to look at putting some of the PFPs that we've made on the front of the shirt and put a QR code on the back, because you know what? You'll turn that person into a walking billboard for your community, and you put that.
I can definitely admit, if I saw a random QR code posted somewhere on a sticker, I would definitely have to find out what that was. I would definitely be doing that. So totally agree with you there.
But if you do it right, you can turn your investors, you can turn the people that buy your merch into walking billboards for your community. And we're going to do that with business cards. We're going to do that with merch. We're going to do it on X. We've got a Discord where we can come play World of Warcraft if you want to. I think one of our artists made a King Crab guild.
I'm in the Junies guild right now, but I want to team up with you guys and run some dungeons. I saw you had a human demon hunter, it looked like.
Yeah. So I mean, we're here to build with everybody. We're gonna grow. We're floating across your timeline on a ship that has a toilet sitting in the middle of it. We've got, I've been playing with was it VEO 3, adding other coins. I've got a little blue crab that farts in the water. I'm here to build with everybody, and I'm looking at making a little blue crab playing with a killer whale. We're here to have fun. We're here to build. We're here to make money. When you do it right and you communicate with your community in the bullest of times and the greatest of times, it's going to be beautiful.
I really like your attitude and your enthusiasm. And what I thought was interesting and was really cool is that you're an ex-CO, 6 foot, 300-pound guy.
Your beard makes you feel safe. Your big strong beard makes YC feel safe.
The thing of it is we couldn't have beards when I was a CO. When you listen to me now, that's the way I talked when I worked there. It takes respect to get respect. And when we look at people from our PFPs, I could be a little blue king crab, but I could be a big dude in real life. But the thing of it is it's all how you talk to people. It takes respect to get respect, no matter what your background is. And that's how I live my life. That's how I lived as a CO. I got out of it during the COVID times, but I found out, when I started delivering tires, I'm my own salesman. Just because I deliver tires does not mean I'm not a salesman, because I drive around and learn about what I'm selling, and that's what I wanted to do with this coin. I can be my own salesman. I can be a leader. I am a leader in my community because it's growing. They're being bullish with me, and it's beautiful. It's fun. I grew the beard because I love having my beard, because I had it when I played college football. But it hides my double chin too, so that's bullish as hell as well.
I couldn't picture you in your other way now.
Strong facial hair. Me too. I feel that. Good job.
So, any last words that you want to say about the project, and we'll move on with Killa.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick.
Sure. Keep
your eyes on us. We're always growing. We're always finding ways to grow, even in IRL times like this. Markets are down, but we're always growing. We're here to bring other coins with us. We're bullish as hell. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to take time. It's not going to be the speed that we want it, but as long as you stick with us and stick with the coins that we stick with, it's going to be beautiful, and we're all going to grow in the giant king crab, Sui Bering Sea waters, because king crabs bleed Sui blue. So, love you guys.
Blue blood. Yes, let's go King Crab, my man.
Let's go King Crab. I like King Crab. It's
Yeah, there were some cool songs.
He gets
Telegram.
Gets me hyped every time.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good.
All right, right on King Crab.
to follow.
Now,
Killa,
was Tada gonna join us today, or is it just gonna be you, or is Tada behind Killa? Who's behind Killa today?
Yo, Jay, man.
Jade, my man. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I just got off from basketball like last 3 hours ago, so my muscles are pretty worn out.
So, okay, let's another.
how was your jump
So, Jade,
shot?
I know that I talked to you in February, and you told me that you were a move programming expert in Nigeria, and I was like, I want to make sure you're legit. Can you, write my name down on a piece of paper and hold it in your hand and make a video of it? Not expecting you to do it at all. And it was done in about 15 seconds, fully doxed, and then sent me a video of him giving move language presentations to people in his area. And I really respected that a lot. I thought that was awesome. What Jay does, and he's not as experienced with speaking on spaces in a crowd like this. So I'm glad he's here, though. He was the one that actually got Richie into that group with Sam Blackshear, and I wanted to know, how did you find that slight vulnerability with the Slush wallet? Because I saw they acknowledged you back, and that's an official SUI network wallet.
It wasn't a vulnerability. So what I did was that I installed the APK file and I extracted it, and I used like a Linux system, and I reversed engineer it and found out the code that handles the deep links. And when I found the code that handles the deep link, I noticed that it only handles 3 commands, which is claim, browse, and links. Yes, and links. So any other command that is in the front of these commands can be used to generate a payload where you can use it for social engineering attempts against the Slush wallet. So when I made the post directly to there, I think that was just basically it. It didn't take at least. It took me 4 cans of Monster and a day to finish everything up.
Now, Jade, was there someone else in the audience that you want to be speaking with you? Because I'm getting requests, but this is for you only. So, if you want someone to join, let me know. If not, this is just for you. If there's no one else in the listeners, then that's fine. But if there is someone you want me to bring up, let me know.
No, I don't think my teammate is here. He isn't. I think he's sleeping by this time.
Imagine being as smart as Jade and just casually reverse engineering Mist and stuff and sipping some monsters and just like finding like holes in their coding and stuff. Like 300 IQ play. Jade's amazing.
That's what I've been saying for so long, Denny. I'm like, Jade needs to have more confidence in himself, because
Jade is a top builder on SUI, and everyone needs to respect Jade.
Like, I could never even imagine trying to reverse engineer the Slush wallet and then actually find a viable vulnerability and get a response back from the official X page themselves. That is mind-boggling.
Like, oh yeah, no big thing. I was just having a little look around, and then bing, bang, boom. Like, no way, bro. It's awesome.
And Kali Linux of all OSs, which I'm very familiar with, but I use it for other purposes, not for deconstructing cryptocurrency wallets. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. And Jade, you know how to post up on the Jumbotron, right? Or do you want me to post anything up there for you? We with you, Jade? Sometimes.
Yeah. So
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, so I only learned last week that, Jade, you had a project, actually. I didn't know about Killa until last week, so I've been learning about it, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Killa is actually one of the partners with Sui Builders, which is in the crowd also, and I'm a part of it. They were one of the first airdrops, I believe.
But for someone for someone like myself, I'd love like a breakdown about Killa, so I can get it from the man himself, essentially. What is Killa? What's it all about? What's the mission? It's a whale, and like I'd love to learn more about it.
Yeah, so well, basically what Killa is it's a killer whale, and that's the whole narrative against it. And it was more built on utility base, and we have the roadmaps on laid on ground about Killa. So Killa was more like a community coin that it's supposed to bring other blockchains into Sui, leveraging interoperability layers. That's ICA. So why I built Killa was because I was basically curious about what I can do with the meme coin space. I kind of like evolve it into something better. And we currently have like an NFT 1/1 collection, which I've selected over 100 PFPs of people with specific metadata traits. So these metadata traits, how it works is that you impute the name of your NFT and mint it directly as your own 1/1. So we don't have to, and there's no intermediary between the user and the developer concerning the 1/1. So you just impute the metadata, and it's you mint out the NFT. So this NFT are possibly dynamic, so they can change within time, and you can kind of customize it into something else. And we're planning of launching a Fiji2 project, but that's not part of the roadmap yet. But the main utility lies on Killa is the interoperability bot, where I leverage ICA wallet to kind of buy all Sui coins with other chains such as Ethereum, BSC, and Solana, but I'm focusing more on Solana because the MVPs it's basically what that is. So the MVP uses Solana tokens to buy Sui memes coins. So if you're kind of in a hustle of bridging Solana memes to Sui, you can just send it to the bot and you can make a position immediately using our bots with the interoperability layer that we've created.
You have a bot index fund on Solana, and I can buy into that, and then that will buy an aggregated different coins on Sui through the bot on Solana. Am I understanding that right?
It's a Sui bot, but this bot is like it's leveraged ICA technology. So ICA technology has D wallet. This D wallet are customizable on wallets that you can use to interact with other blockchains and other DeFi protocols. But for the MVP, this bot has a Solana it's a Solana wallet that you can use to buy Sui memes and interact with Sui tokens and Sui memes and moonbags possibly.
Cool, through ICA D wallet.
Yeah, I believe Jade has even had a video call with the developer of ICA a long time ago. So I believe he's in contact with him. And also, I noticed too, you have created, I don't know if it's a final product yet, but there is like a Trump Killa version NFT. So Richie, you might want to look for that. There's a Killa whale Trump NFT that I thought was
I'll be taking
cool
that.
Looking.
I'm just looking at Potato Lands at the moment, so I'm an NFT fiend. So I'll look for that one.
Yeah, Potato is great tool for Sui, where you can look at multiple different wallets in one portfolio, and it has reminders for airdrops and if you're going to go out of range on LPs, even Sui passport notifications. It's a great tool. I think everyone should be using Potato app as far as like knowing what you have, and it's a complement to any project on Sui, and it's totally free to use. For the
NFTs, the Killa NFTs, right? So it says, Jade, it says fully customizable by you. How does that work?
So on the Sui Move programmability or something, and you kind of like have dynamic NFTs. So these dynamic NFTs can change within time. So when the NFTs are being minted, these are one of our collections of your own metadata. So if you're really present on the Sui ecosystem, we would have collected your name and your own profile picture. So immediately you mint that, and there's going to be a phase 2 of the NFT where you can customize it. You can either give it a hat, you can change the background color and make it as the same NFT. So that is dynamic traits added to the NFTs.
That's amazing. So you've essentially been watching like an owl, you know, on Sui, like all the activity, the characters, and people who are, you know, creating Sui blockchain history, right? And then you're going to be collecting their personalities and then putting it into NFTs. That's really cool.
Yeah, he showed me the Trump one without. I didn't ask him to create it. He just like, check this out. You know, it looked like a Sui Trump kill a whale NFT. I was like, that's cool. I know Rich would love that. Even a wise DJ and kill a whale would be awesome. You know, totally cool. Jade is definitely doing a lot of things that are next level. He probably understands the dynamic NFTs on a level more than any of us here.
Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm almost through it. Like I've been doing the Sui Friend on Let's Move Sui, like trying to figure out this the dynamic part of the NFTs. It's it's because I've been in NFTs for so long, and I've been so trained to think that an NFT is what it is until you burn it and then you remint another one.
They've always been a picture before, right? Just a JPEG.
Yeah, exactly, and it's immutable, right? Like, and it's trying to get my head around the fact that they're no longer, you know, on Sui, they can change, they can completely be dynamic, they can morph, they can grow. It's a complete game changer, and people don't yet realize until it's been fully leveraged and people can see the unbelievable potential of this. Then that will be when
I
the
think
penny will drop.
That
you know?
When that truly will happen is when the Sui Play OX1 gets shipped, because that's going to keep track of in-game currency, traits, skins, weapons, armor, status. You can have it linked to your NS. You're going to be able to get airdropped from these games. It's going to make things like fully interactive Web3. And it can play any game on Steam, Web 2, Web 3. It can handle graphics as intense as GTA 6.
They were just playing Baldur's Gate 3 on it the other day, which is a pretty good new game. It looked great.
Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. The Sui Play is more powerful than the Nintendo Switch 2. If you look at the specs, it is straightforward. You know, it's just a fact. It's not an opinion. It has stronger specs. It is way more capable than the Nintendo Switch. So that says a lot.
Sui Play's got the Ryzen 7 780 with integrated graphics similar to a 1050 Ti. It's got 8 threads. It's going to smash a Switch 2.
It's more powerful than all your devices you're using right now to watch this space, most likely, honestly. And yeah, you can hook it up to your television through a cable. You can use a keyboard and a mouse. And if you have a Wi-Fi 6 router, there's basically zero latency on that. So it's capable for that as well. They put all the bells and whistles into it. So that's going to be exciting. And it's fully built. They're just waiting to have the Playtron OS be finished. And
I wanted to just mention, I want to say Killa handled themselves really well through the Cetus incident. Their community just kept going, and they made it through that. And then I think they did some relaunching of some liquidity, or they were reimbursed, but they handled themselves really good through that adversity. So I wanted to say awesome to that.
And also to add to the transparency part of it, Jade has not just doxed to me, but he even allowed me to post those videos on X and videos of him giving presentations about Sui Move in his community and teaching others about Sui Move, giving speeches multiple times. And
His
like I
videos
said, that
are
was
really
in
good.
February, and he's still working at it, deconstructing slush. He wants to make his family proud, and I think people would really love to get behind that. So,
Killa, you also
I
give
wish.
back to your community, like in IRL. Like I saw you out there giving some food to some people in your community. Was that right? Did I see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was Ika-chan, and we went out to an orphanage home, which I'm actually planning for Killer. I do not want to use any of the tokens to give out, and I want to give out from my own personal bank. We went out to the community to give out to people and who actually needed them the most. I had to connect to the children and everything, and yeah, I thank God for life, and I thank God I can actually be present in other people's life and help them.
He's out there helping the
That's
community.
amazing, Jake.
Amazing.
I hope you realize how special that is. I mean, it may be hard for you to see, but as far as like, people, me in the US, Richie's in Scotland, Dunny's in Canada, we actually love to see that kind of stuff, what you're doing. And I really think you should have more confidence in yourself and believe in yourself, because you're doing things that none of us here are even doing or even capable of. And that's incredible. So props to you, buddy. Anything else you wanted to add? Since we're doing about a little bit over an hour now. As far as like Tada, maybe you could tell us more about them, since they're helping you with the NFTs. Do you know them in person or?
Yeah, Mr. Tada, I have known him. So the thing about the history of Killer, so Killer wasn't a whole brand new project on Sui. It was a dead CTO rocked coin that I took from the ashes and built it slowly. And the thing is that I had a lot of lashbacks. I had a lot of quarrels, a lot of threats and so on. People telling me it was a shit project. I'm here to farm them, and yeah. The thing is, from my own perspective, what I couldn't do was that I couldn't launch a whole project without people not calling it an extortion means. So I took Killer from the ashes, and Mr. Tada was also present in Killer. That was last year, and we kind of relaunched and did everything a whole new start and gave it a whole new vibe and everything. So it's been really hard for the community to get in touch together, and we're kind of building slowly. And I have been doing all the runs and Tada has been helping me a lot. And we have Mike. We had Mike on the space here. He's also Nigerian. He's a good guy. I think he's a student too. But we have a few people who are helping out in the community, and they are really good people, man. Sometimes I leave out and they keep the community active, which I really love. So I just appreciate them, and like it's really something to me. It means something for someone to support what I'm building. As far as it's not concerned about the monetary values, what the values is bringing to the ecosystem.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Sui Nigeria Foundation community. Out of all the countries in the world, they're definitely the most like on fire for Sui. I think a lot of that has to do with Adeni has strong connections to there. He raised like $2 million for the country, and I've met so many people from Nigeria that have been so helpful to me.
I want to say Ekaro to all of our Nigerian friends.
Right on. And Jade, how was it launching on Moonbags? How did you, take advantage of those options on Moonbags? Since,
so
it was a fresh CA. It's a new CA.
Oh, okay. So the Moonbags was really, really user friendly. But I had issues with kind of like instead of locking it, I went to stick them and I just left them there. LOL. So it was really nice, man. The creator wallet, I really don't know how to claim all those the creators and so on. But it was really nice. The UIs of Moonbags and the utility brings us the immediate staking, immediate locking, and immediate tracking of whoever buying the coin and so on. It was really awesome, man. Like I give the Moonbags a 10 out of 10. shout out or something. But also I want to kind of like on my own research that is not part of Killer. I also want to like do some backwards and check out some kind of vulns and the vulnerabilities and what I can do with Moonbags are really nice. But it's really nice, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I want to let everyone know, I believe they still might be having a promotion where Moonbags is looking for people making memes. Raiden X is looking for people making content. If those promotions have ended, I believe they're going to be doing a lot more, because what I'm doing these for is they want to get more involved in the community. So anyone that wants to do anything for promotion of Moonbags or Raiden X, they're really looking to reach out. They also have subreddits. There's Raiden X. I made that in like February, a long time ago. There's a Raiden X subreddit and a Moonbag subreddit, same exact spelling and handle as the X page. And they're really trying to be more involved in the community. And that's what these spaces are for. I'm an ambassador for them. I'm not a developer from Moonbags, but I got hooked up with Raiden X way back when Richie did his promotion for Sui Trump. So I've been in the Raiden X Telegram, and now Moonbags, it's a more recent product. I'm still learning about it. So I'm really excited that the whole Sui community is getting more involved. And the fact that Raiden X and Moonbags won part of the Sui overflow is really cool. Really glad to see that. So I think we will wrap it up for today. For these Moonbag spaces, try to keep them as close to an hour as possible. And we will definitely be having more soon. So thank you to everyone that came.
Thank you, everybody.
Richie.
Thanks. We've got
King Crab. Jade.
We have another 130 people live as well on my side watching. So that's always good. So we got
holy moly, we're getting them.
Well, hey, we can
angles.
we can always start another space later on. anytime. There's no cost. The spaces are free.
Yeah, for me it's the end of the school year, so now I've got a 9-year-old about to wake up and run around like a maniac. So I'm gonna have to make him some eggs, give him some energy.
Nice.
When's your next Space Wise, DGen? You got one coming up? I know Thursdays 6 p.m. is our weekly Sui Builder space, which is always a great time.
Yeah, that's actually when Tada spoke from Killa. So Tada spoke on that one. That's on Richie's channel. You can check out. That was recorded. He also has the recording on X as well. And yeah, we're going to be streaming all over the place. We're expanding. I'm even doing some stuff on TikTok with AI and AI face overlays and effects for Sui projects, so they can have customized videos made. A lot of good plans coming up. A lot of expansion in Sui. I'm excited.
Sui has just said that they would like to come join us for a chat in the future, potentially one day soon. I would love to have Micro Sui come up and chat to them. I will do a space
with any project for free anytime they want. Contact me. We'll schedule it. And, I'm always down to give people a platform to talk about what they're doing. So, send me a DM. Check out Moonbags. Moonbags.io, RaidenX.io. They are the same company, same owners, so they are connected. And we'll be talking to you guys again soon. Thank you for joining us today.